Hi, my name is Aemal Sayer. I'm a software engineer. I build AI agents for SMEs in Germany. This is an episode of Sayer's First Look. This is a series where I take any AI product out there in the world and give it my first look, and I capture my raw emotions under the recording. So today I'm going to check out Firebase Studio. Just a couple of days ago, Google announced Firebase Studio. Let's try it out and see how things work. I've been working with Firebase for the past 7-8 years, so I think I'm gonna find it out um, how cool it is. And also, I have been working with vibe coding for a year or so. I did a workshop recently about Lovable and Cursor, so I also bring some experience from that perspective. So apparently the sign up was super smooth. Let's see, what do I do? Prototype an app. Okay. So in order to give you guys a context of what we're gonna build, last week I went to a workshop, 4 hours workshop. I did a workshop, and basically in there we build an app, and I try to reproduce that. So in order to give you that context, it makes sense that we go there and
Hi.
then actually pick that. This is the workshop that I did. Before that workshop, I did this video, which was comparing Lovable and Cursor. And what we built there, sorry about that. What we built there is an app, something like this, that has like these 4 questions and a transcript that is showing um, here. And every single user who's talking can go through that little experience so that they can be forced to talk fast. So that's the whole idea of this app. It's a very simple app that we can, like this, that we have like these 4 questions on the left, transcription on the right. So we're going to try to build this or rebuild this. Okay. This is awesome. Let's start coding an app. Oh, it has all these options here. I'd like to pick Next.js. I wanted to go like from the prompting, I'm afraid. Start coding an app. Okay. Start prototyping. I hope it's gonna pick Next.js or ask me at least a question. Let's try this box first, and then we'll try the start coding feature. So I have this dictation tool called Super Whisper installed. I'm gonna do the dictation. Can you please build me a very simple transcription app? Use Web Speech API, and I'd like to talk to the microphone and see the transcripts on the web page. So the Web Speech API is basically a feature that it's a browser plugin that allows you to do transcriptions basically without any need of an external API. Not sure what happened. Okay, still it's prompting and waiting. So under the hood, I believe it is using Gemini. We still need to see. Prototype this out. What does it say? Can you please build me it? Okay, here's a plan. Okay, it's just a plan. Yeah, please go ahead, build it. So it created the MD files. Yeah, it picked Next.js. That's nice. At least from the app structure, I can see it picked that particular technology I was looking for. I don't see the file menu on the left. What I see different is the chat is on the right side, the code is on the left. Okay, it's finished. Let's see what it did. There's an issue. Hydration. Okay, it already picked the issue, so let's see if it can fix it. Okay, now it fixed the problem. I see the files. We'll check the files in just a minute. We value your feedback. Okay. Still, there is another issue. Same issue. Still same issue. There's an iteration problem. So I'm gonna copy that issue, paste it here. There, and now it opened the code base. Since I believe Firebase is like a full suite of services for building web and mobile applications, I believe this would be much better than Lovable or other things like Lovable. So I have high expectations from this too. So the UI is sleek and easy to follow. Super nice, but it is stuck in the same error, I think, again and again. This is in layout.tsx and line number 27. Let's give it another try and see if it's across multiple components or multiple files or the same one. Please iterate. Yeah, it's this now 29. Maybe it did something on the top and then it pushed that line, but it's exactly the same thing from the body. So we give it enough tries. What I would like to do is well, give it a try without this. I think it will work. It's just an iteration error. It won't work in this browser. I know the browser. This browser doesn't support the. So I'm logged in with this email. I'm going to go to Chrome. Firebase.studio. Let's log in using my SmartGeeks email. I should see my projects. Okay, there is my list of projects. Let's open that. Still, the iteration problem should exist there, but we'll see. So one thing I don't like about this right now, this screen, is that something is happening in the background. I don't know what is it. I'd like to be informed. A skeleton, a spinner, or something. Now there we go. It's loaded. Now I can see it. Let's try it out. Allow microphone. Okay, I just built this app using Firebase Studio. It's something cool, but I don't see the transcription in real time. Okay, let's change that. Stop listening. Let's change that feature. I would like to see the transcription in real time. As I speak, every character should be printed on the screen. Okay, broken images. That's also, well, it's a very, very young app. Literally announced a couple of days ago, so I don't see why. Alrighty, so we are going to do some nice things. It is concatenating it wrong. There's a problem. I see the transcript in multiples. It keeps concatenating the previous one with the new one, and then it just accumulates all the transcripts along. It's a very common pitfall that even human developers can fall into, because the microphone gives you the whole context, and then it asks to put the logic to like subtract the previous ones. All right, so this time it should work without any problems. It went back to the old way. And went back to the old approach. Like I want to see the transcript as I'm speaking without concatenating it in duplicates. Okay, what I want to do is interrupt it and see if it works. Without showing the duplicates and also showing it in real time. Okay, I'm not gonna submit this. All right, so this is this is fixed. Okay, that's nice. I can see my transcript in real time. I think that makes a point. Let me then observe the other features of Firebase Studio. So they have a publish button, that's nice. I believe when I click this button, it will put it on a link that I can use it anywhere on my phone, send it to someone and so on. So let's check it out. Okie dokie. It's gonna take time. And this would be nice to see if it creates a Firebase project for me. Actually, it did. This naming convention kind of seems like a Firebase project. And there we go. I'm super excited now because despite the fact I like, why is it asking me for billing? Let's pick one of them. It's okay. Despite the fact I like Supabase, Supabase versus Firebase, I always tend to go with Firebase for the sake of its maturity. It's a project that went through a lot of ups and downs, and especially for real-time updates, for chat applications, for these setups, Firebase is the go-to solution, and it's super fast. You can, in let's say a couple of days, spin off an app without any problem. Okay, so the environment is ready. Publish your app and create a rollout. So I'm not sure what's a rollout. Your rollout is being created. I think it's a release plan or something. Visit your app here. Already there. Okay. Why the click is not working? Okay, it's still provisioning the project. Meanwhile, what I would like to do is click on this and go to the Firebase console and find out what it created for me. So I believe it created, okay, voice scribe is the project name. That's nice. It didn't, so when I ask, it will create all of these steps, like all of these services like authentication off the shelf from Firebase and Firestore and so on. This is interesting, very, very interesting, because I like Firebase. It has a lot, a suite of tools, and it is super, super easy to integrate Firebase with GCP, with the rest of the GCP services. Nice. This is going very well. Meanwhile, this project is something that I would like to expand on, especially testing the authentication and the Firestore database features, these two features. Okay, it's taking more time than I thought. One more thing I would like to cover here is Firebase as a recent couple of months old feature, less than a year at least, that's called Firebase App Hosting. Here, so app distribution also, okay. This I didn't know, but app hosting. Oh, we are there. It was selected. So I see, because Next.js, it is using Firebase app hosting. Nice. So there are two things. This was a very old one. Hosting is for basically static web pages that do not have kind of like back end, front end. It's just a front end. And app hosting, the service that it's currently using to do the deployment, is for full stack applications. People used to do hosting of Next.js on Versal, and then the entire tech stack on Firebase. Now using app hosting, they can do everything here. And for the, like, I'm trying to produce as much content as possible for non-technical solo founders or people who are basically trying to do something um, with vibe coding or building apps with AI. But in this particular Sayer's first look, I want to kind of mix it with technical people and non-technical. So therefore, I would like to mention something about app hosting. So app hosting under the hood is using GCP Cloud Run. So if we go to GCP console, I think it's using Cloud Run, but we'll check it out in just a minute. So where did we want to go? This email address. Now, if I find this, must have created a project called Scribe Voice. No. Voice Scribe. There we go. So it created a GCP project for me. And then under the hood, it must have created a Cloud Run. There, no? Okay, this is now an information I need to know myself. So let's find it out. What does, maybe we can quickly have a chat GPT out. Oh, we can ask it itself. What does the Firebase app hosting use under the hood? Which GCP service does it use? Cloud CDN, but it is static. Well, let's say if I'm putting a Next.js application, what does it use? Firebase hosting Next.js Cloud CDN serves the static assets. However, the Next.js often involves server-side rendering or API routes. It integrates cloud functions or Cloud Run. Okay, so it is using basically cloud functions. Let's check cloud functions here. And in cloud, well, cloud functions makes more sense because the association one-on-one on cloud on Firebase functions makes sense because it is Firebase functions are also cloud functions. So it's just a wrapper on the top. So it makes sense. It might be here. No, not here as well. Not sure. Oh, indeed. One. This is very funny. We don't have any functions. We don't have any endpoints in this project. This project is totally just front end. So when we create an endpoint, then we should see it either on Cloud Functions or on Cloud Run. We'll see that. Okay, let's see if it is finished rolling it out. This may take up to 10 minutes. Feel free to check out later. Okay, so let's enhance this project somehow and see the capability of whether this understands it or not. And I think it already has a preview link. Yeah, cool. Oh, it is it needs authorization. Never mind. So let's enhance this. I'd like to see those 4 questions on the left side. So can you please create like 4 questions? Hold on a second, my bad. Can you please create 4 questions inside a nice box on the left side? The first question should be your full name. The second question should be your profession. Third one, uh, how can you help others, or how do you help others? The fourth one, what kind of a help you need. This is basically a format of a question that someone, while introducing themselves, should use. This list of questions should be nicely formatted in a box and nice colors, so that someone who is using this tool and introducing himself or herself should use as a template, as a guideline to introduce and use it for introduction in that meeting. Well, let's see how cool this works. So under the hood, probably it's using Gemini. Oh yeah, Gemini can make mistakes, so it is using Gemini. In the app that you saw earlier, I think it was somewhere here. This app, this was built with Claude, with Cursor. So let's see how cool it gets. I'm defaulting back to Arc. I add to work here because then we have to also test it. But it's the same source, so once it's done from here, then we can go back here and we should see the same thing. Okay, so I see this. It made it in a very, very simple way. What I would like to do is do the following. Take a screenshot of this and see if you can make it like this and see if it can. Okay. Paste. Can you make it look like this? That's gonna be awesome. I mean, in the current market, the best tool that we have is Claude Claude Sonnet 3.7 for generating code. I'm not sure how good Gemini is. I've never used it, so from now on I'll use it. But one thing I would like to see Firebase Studio to evolve into is having a drop down of the models. I know they won't because Gemini is Google's product, Firebase Studio is Google's product. They want to promote their own LLM, being Gemini. But if they do put a drop down of all the other LLMs, this will increase the Firebase usage. Because a lot of people are using Lovable and stuff and use Firebase and integrate Firebase. But let's see. Okay, so it literally tried to copy everything. It did a lot of CSS mistakes. At least in this browser setup that it is rendering it, it doesn't look nice. If I zoom out, still it doesn't look nice. So I'm gonna give it some chance before the deployment is finished. I think the deployment is finished. I'm gonna give it another screenshot and say that, well, there are a lot of CSS and alignment issues. Can you fix them? So let's see. I think then we are gonna wrap it up and see a few other parts, and especially the code, and then we call it a day. I think it's almost 30 minutes that we're recording, so. What else? What's happening? Did it do something? Can you please fix it now? think the publish is done. So if we go here, refresh, there we go. We got our app running on the hosted platform. Nice. So we can like literally use this feature and go to my phone. I have my phone here, and I'm gonna open this link on my phone using Safari. Paste, go. There we go. I have literally something that my camera is not focusing. Work. It's not responsive. I have to turn it around. Okay. Now it's working. So you can see that it is working. Hey, Mr. Camera, please focus. So it is literally right now transcribing. I can also do something else. Change this to this. Here you can see that it is working and I am talking and the transcript is working fine. And yeah, this is a way to build software like literally without too much coding. And yeah, now you can see it at least from this reflection that the transcript is working. We just build ourselves a voice transcription service without writing a single line of code and with using Firebase Studio. Now let's give it a little bit more Sayer's first look, maybe 5-10 minutes, and then see what happened in there. Okay, this part is a little bit advanced. I would like to go to code and see what was built. Okay, nice. I see VS Code. By the way, VS Code is just a web application. It's built in Electron.js and React. So it can be loaded anywhere, and it's open source, and therefore Cursor is a fork. Cursor forked VS Code, and then they built on the top of that. So it built a Next.js app. Let's check it out. It's too slow. Come on. Let's check it in my other browser. Come on. Yeah, I don't believe it's working. The VS Code instance of it has some bug, I think. Apparently it's not loading. I like how they call it. They call it prototyper. Switch to prototyper. And I think that's the right way to do like this. These code generators are good for generating prototypes, not good for generating full-fledged apps. Come on, what's wrong with this? I would really want to see the code. Okay, now what I would like to do is find out where they push it. They must use Git under the hood. Because it never asked me for my Git, I want to understand where is it saving it so that I can download it on my system and check it out. Well, the source control doesn't have any. Can I see the terminal? That way then I can find it out. Like, come on. Okay, I need to just give it some time. They might be doing some virtualization stuff in the backend. Yeah, there we go. Okay. this. Oh, it doesn't have any Git. Oh, it's not even a Git repository. That is weird. But I can see that it is tracking my file changes. So first thing first, let's see what is it using for build. It's using the normal Next. I want done, but let's give it some thought on that. So it picked the right, like the Next 15. That's nice. And this has been okay. TypeScript. So let's find any code problems if it created any. So it has like the browser compatibility thing. Although I don't see this. Why? If I open it in here and I don't see that happening, like the browser compatibility message is not showing up that I don't support speech recognition. And there are certain TypeScript issues. Okay, this can also happen in Cursor, that's fine. Yeah, overall, the experience was positive, I would say, except the generated code, but also it was a very simple app. This app is super, super simple. So let me see which CSS Shat CN or which one. Oh, it's their own components. Let's see. It's the local components it created. But inside the components, it's again using Tailwind CSS and using div. That's fine. I never asked it to. Oh no, it is using Shat CN. No, this is CN, just CN. Yeah, it's just Tailwind. Okay, overall, it was nice. What I don't know is where is the GitHub. I want this to be moved somewhere on GitHub. I don't know exactly where it is moving it. And on the terminal, I cannot see if it has any git remote, but I can see that it is using it did push something there. Yeah, it's a very custom way of kind of like putting it somewhere on their own servers. But if I want to find out where to put it, like where to move it, like on my own Git, that's a piece that I want to cover maybe in the next session. Yeah, it's very hard to find out exactly where the Git hub. Now these are all the settings of VS Code. I have never given any GitHub information, so I'm not sure where does Firebase Studio puts my information. I want to put them on my GitHub, so it's important information. Oh, it has just like very minimal. Information. Let's see if it has any GitHub information here. Upload your app to GitHub. Nice. So this is something, create a GitHub account. I have one. So open your space. Hold on, where are we? We're in Firebase Studio. That's nice. Okay, so this is the thing. Control Shift G, Command Shift G. So I'm gonna quickly follow these steps so that we can see if I can move it to GitHub. So open your workspace from View menu. Perhaps it's talking about code mode. So add GitHub project before you begin. Upload upload your app to GitHub. You can integrate Firebase Studio with GitHub to ensure your project is backed up and shared with the others. If you're using prototyping agent, note that it commits its changes to your local branch on every response. Firebase Studio's in code view requires you manually commit. You can do this from source control panel. Okay, so let's go to source control panel. I think it's this one. And then Command Shift G. There we go. What happened in Command Shift G? If you're an app prototyping agent in prototype view, first switch to code. Yeah, I'm already there. Then click commit. Well, this I know, but where do I put my commit, my GitHub information? That's the problem. This I have already done, but how do I warning inspected in source control panel publish when you prompt to log into. Okay, the moment I click on publish, it asks me to log into my GitHub. I see, that's nice. So this is buried in like 20,000 steps down the road. So you might want to carry on throughout the not sure which two-factor authentication is this. Enter code displayed on your device. It is GitHub, but I'm not sure which two-factor authentication is it. So the point is like just before getting there, you need to get to this publish, and then it will give you that sign into Google. Oh, I see. We need to create like this so-called token, and it's a little bit of a work. So let's do that. Hopefully this will be done fast. Did not work. Okay, so this is creating the token for me. Perfect. This is the page I wanted to bring you, but it already had all the things on the parameter, so we need to just generate this token. That means like with this token, now Firebase will be authenticated, and whenever we do this publish, does it do now? Does it put no, not yet? How does it put my project? So I have all these projects. I want to know where does this project go? So the UX around this GitHub integration is very bad. It is first buried in across a lot of different things, and don't know where is this. This is not the authentication. It might be sending me an email with that code. Where do you find the code? Git login. Okay. I like SSH. Let's use this one. Firebase Studio. Let's Let's log in with the browser. Again, same code. I need to find this code. Where does it send it? And not on my phone. No. Okay. This is something that I need to learn on. Oh, sorry. There was this code here on the terminal. So I think we can use that code in here because we already have the. Okay. So I authorize it not on all of them, but can you show me that again, please? It's generating that same token again and again when I reauthorize it. Look, that's not a pleasant user experience. So if I try to reauthorize it, it creates, I want to continue, but let's use this authorization code. So you see that the user experience is very bad. This is GitHub's user experience, but at least the documentation and everything is very bad. And also, I don't see a way to change the repositories. I want to see like the other repositories I have. I don't want to give access to all of these. This is a GitHub problem, but it's weird. You're all set, it says. Okay, no, I don't like this approach. Lovable in this case is way better in GitHub integration process. Like you can follow my tutorials on my YouTube to see how that was done. But yeah, it's totally a crap. Not sure where did it go and did it create actually. It's again going in the same UI. Yeah, this is, unless I'm trying out something totally in a different place. And we start from the documentation of them, but still like it's not very pleasant experience. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. Overall, this was a first time usage. Maybe I'm not sure where to click, what to click, but I tried my best. I think I was in the right place. The user experience as a whole was okay, but there are a lot of pitfalls. I hope I'll give it another look in 6 months and I'll change my perspective. But for now, I'm gonna stick with Cursor. It's again not a platform that could help a lot right now. I'll use Cursor and Firebase or Cursor and Supabase for prototyping. And for the matter of fact, today I'm building a full-fledged course for Vibe Coding 101. I'll teach super low level, like the basic commands of to use a computer to build products without knowing coding. So stay tuned, that is coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching Sayer's First Look. Bye.